Tick-tock on the clock, Kesha once said. We're counting down to tax deadline day. That's right, everyone, April 15th, right around the corner. And one debate has been front and center, the child tax credit. Yahoo Finance's Rachelle Akuffo joins us now with the breakdown. Rachelle, what do we know here? What is the child tax credit and how can people take advantage of this?
Well, just in time for Financial Literacy Month, Brad. Of course, kids coming back from spring break. So here's what you need to know about the child tax credit. Now, this is actually a federal program that's supporting Americans raising children. So a couple of numbers to keep in mind. You can lower your tax bill per $2,000 per qualifying child. Now, obviously, last year, a lot of people saw perhaps a bigger amount that they were able to claim, but that's because we were in the middle of the pandemic. People were still getting some extenuating circumstance payments that gave it a little extra bump that tax year. So you're going to see it a little bit lower this year, but good to keep in mind that there are some ifs you need to keep in mind. That's income, filing, and of course the status of the child or the dependent that you're trying to claim, Brad.
Okay, so Rachelle, how do you know which dependents qualify? I mean, we have a cat named Monkey at home. I'm pretty sure he doesn't fall within this child tax credit. So how do I go about knowing this for sure?
Well, unfortunately, unless your cat named Monkey has a social security number that will automatically disqualify them. They do have to be a human being. They have to have a valid social security number. They have to be under the age of 17 over the past year, at the end of last year. Now, a child or dependent for the purpose of the child tax credit, that doesn't just include your traditional biological children. You have stepchildren, eligible foster children, stepbrothers and sisters, half-brothers and sisters, as well as dependents of any of these. So think grandchildren, nieces and nephews as well. Another circumstance here, the child can't have provided more than half of their own financial support the past year. We know some teens are working, so keep that in mind when you're making those calculations. They also have to have lived with you for more than a year, be claimed properly as a dependent on your taxes, and the child has been over the past year a US citizen, national, or a resident alien as well, Brad.
And Rachelle, not everyone who files for the child tax credit gets the full amount here, we should note. So all of this considered, how much should people be expecting?
So two numbers that you should keep in mind, because as we mentioned, the ifs there, so income, filing status, and status of the child. So we covered the children here. When it comes to income, if you make $200,000 or less, you could qualify for the full amount here of at least $2,000 plus per qualifying child. If you're filing jointly, that threshold is then $400,000. Now, that also includes if you're a single parent, which classifies as a head of household filer, so keep that in mind. And everyone else with an income under $200,000, that also means that you will qualify for at least that $2,000 tax credit. Now, the interesting thing is once you go above that threshold, that's when the math gets a little bit trickier there. It gets reduced $50 for each $1,000 that your income exceeds that threshold. And of course, the best way to always make sure you're staying on the right side of everything is to go to the IRS website. And you're going to want to have your 1040 handy and look for a Schedule 8812 form. So this is going to help you plug in all your numbers from your 1040. You know exactly how much you're going to qualify for the child tax credit, and you file them together. So make sure you include that Schedule 8812 with your 1040, make it as accurate as possible, and get all the child tax credit that's due to you, Brad.
All right, Yahoo Finance's own and steady rep in Howard University, Rachelle Akuffo. Thanks so much, Rachelle. Appreciate it.